violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
First introduced Compound Athletics in Sterling Heights 1 year ago this month, a multi-use facility for athletes of all skill levels and all economic backgrounds. The Compound has turned into the place to be, even hosting Summer League high school exhibitions. On this night, Detroit Cass Tech was playing Macomb, Dakota.
And that, you know, is really dope, really awesome. You know, I love to see sports in general, but an environment where you can be competitive, you know, show good sportsmanship. I'm glad they're not hosting these games at midnight to mimic midnight basketball, but it looks like this is definitely a productive thing and in bringing multiple different communities together. I just hope that the Super Gremlins do not mess it up for everybody, because this right here is solid. You know, it's keeping people busy. It's giving people something to work for, teaching work ethic, discipline, all that kind of stuff. So not saying we need more shooting hoops and all that kind of stuff, but you know, it's nice to see people getting along.
The one thing we tried to create when we built this building, again, we talked about a year ago, was just to bring the community together and help service the community. Now we were blessed to be able to do that. We're running summer leagues and fall leagues. Right now behind me is the summer league that's going on. We have Cass Tech and Macomb, Dakota. Like you said, two prominent teams in Metro Detroit to be able to square off here.
Home of the athlete. That's the motto at Compound Athletics, and it's not just for elite athletes either.
Look, y'all seen the ref? He didn't know which direction they was going.
Even partnering with the Compound Athletics, and it's not just for elite athletes either. Even partnering with the Detroit Junior Pistons for events.
We run basketball leagues from K through 6th grade. They're here on Mondays and Wednesday nights. We get practice in on Mondays, games on Wednesdays, and then also the kids get tickets and get to go to the suites to the Pistons games. You get Piston players that stop in and check the league.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's dope.
It's been such a great partnership.
One of the great new aspects of this facility, the sand pit. Over 270 tons of sand in here. Really unique.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's more up my alley, the sand pit.
Aspect of training to improve the speed. But look at this, a volleyball net too. Oh!
The idea came from when I played college soccer. I went to school in Old Dominion down in Virginia. And I used to work out on the sand all the time. It really helped my speed, helped my top speed. And so when I came back to Michigan, I would work out in the sand at Joe DeMars Fieldhouse. And then when all that closed down, there was nowhere to work. So then we got in our position to open up the other side. I was like, hey, let's put a sandbox in here so we can get back to what we used to do. And it helps the athleticism in the athletes. It helps with our motto, HODA, which is home of the athlete.
Plenty of athletes making this their home, including the Michigan Goonies AAU team, one of the very few teams in the area that actually have a home gym.
That's been a blessing for a guy who's been doing that for almost 10 years now. The first 5, I was ripping and running, trying to beg schools let me in, or the community centers let me in. And then when COVID hit, we couldn't get in anywhere. So to be able to have that program, we did it the right way. It allowed us to open this up. And now we just can go whenever we want to go.
There are plenty of camps happening this summer, something every week in June, July, and August, including a Pistons camp too.
Oh, that's where you want to be. This is where rec meets elite, where you can be a rec kid and turn into an elite player if you come and put the work in. So it doesn't matter what standard you're at. Just come in, come get some work, and we can get you where you want to be.
For more on the camps and everything else happening at this facility, head over to thecompoundathletics.com. Ryan Armani, Fox 2 News.
The way a Glock handgun is supposed to work, you pull the trigger once and a single round is fired. But this case out of Oakland County is highlighting how a simple switch can take a handgun and turn it into a machine gun. It's called a Glock Switch.
Whoa, so you mean a Glock can turn into an AR-15? You know, a lot of talk about banning AR-15s. I actually have an AR-15 behind me. It's ridiculous. Okay, an AR-15 is a semi-automatic weapon. Automatic weapons throughout the United States mostly are banned unless you have like a high security level or security clearance in order to attain that weapon. But it's just ridiculous that people are talking about banning AR-15s and all this kind of stuff when you can do damage with a Glock, you can do damage with a revolver. You know, it really goes up to the amount of rounds. You can put the extendo in. I have a 30 round, 50 round, 100 round drum on a pistol. Easy. Okay. And you know, people don't understand that, and they don't really know much about guns. Therefore, it's easy to push this propaganda that, hey, ban the AR-15, ban the assault rifle and whatnot, when honestly, if you were going to do a full-on assault, which I would hope nobody would do, but it would be a lot more discreet if you had a pistol versus an AR-15. And it just, you can just tell people are really ignorant about firearms in general, even though there are so many across the United States.
And as the name would indicate, it switches a standard handgun into something else.
As a switch, it would just snap onto the gun and change it from the semi-automatic mode to a full auto.
Or in very simple terms,
it turns a weapon into a machine gun.
And the recent arrest of Emmanuel Gates in Pontiac highlights how these switches are arriving here.
It's something that criminals are aware of. There's a dark net and different places where they buy different things.
In the case of Gates, who is facing federal charges of unlawful importing of a firearm, it also shows how law enforcement can fight back with federal jail time.
We have an ongoing partnership with the FBI and the Violent Crime Task Force, which is based on Oakland County campus. And then we have a very strong partnership with the ATF to go after people that are using stolen guns or using parts illegally to alter the effectiveness and the rate of fire of guns.
According to court documents, Gates, who is affiliated with the gang, would buy the switches from a Russian website and have them shipped over in a package labeled spare lawnmower parts. The issue is a gun owner needs a federal firearm license to own and operate a gun conversion switch.
This is illegal with no additional laws needed. It's already an illegal item to have on your gun.
Federal agents seized a pack.
So you heard that. It's already illegal to have a Glock switch, but all the super gremlins rap about having Glock switches and extendos, even though the extendos aren't illegal, but the switches are. But if you pair that extendo with a switch, I mean, you've got a full-on machine gun for real. And with like hollow tip rounds, it's OV. So they're talking about gun legislation, gun laws, raising the age and all this kind of stuff. Look, most of these kids who are doing these shootings are very young anyway, meaning they are not supposed to have a weapon, but they still get it anyway. So just raising the age from where you can buy a gun from 18 to 21, it's not going to work how you think it is.
Package allegedly making its way to Gates with 20 such devices inside.
It has a standard back plate here, and it has a sear on the inside of the gun, which stops this gun from firing more than one round at a time as the trigger is pulled.
Law enforcement says it's far too easy for criminals to get their hands on these devices and far too dangerous once they're used to commit crimes.
Let us know they can do it anonymously, because in the end they end up hurting the community where they land.
And law enforcement says they tracked Gates from July of 2020 to October 2021, building their case for federal court, finding that he made numerous purchases from this Russian website. He's now awaiting his day in court in federal court. Reporting live in Oakland County, Dave Spencer, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, Dave, two questions. What's the typical sentence if convicted on this federal charge, and how easy is it to access this through that website?
Yeah, apparently it's way too easy, and that's the problem. That's why law enforcement is hoping that if you have information about how people are getting a hold of them, that you can make those anonymous calls. And to answer your first question, typically if somebody is convicted of that crime of unlawful purchase of a firearm, it's the federal sentence is 10 years in federal prison.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
My baby is such an active baby. Like, he's only one and he know how to count to 5.
Say hi. This 1-year-old beautiful little boy named Kyrie, now brain dead.
Only been a week and it feels like forever.
Beaten so badly, allegedly, by a trusted babysitter and friend.
Wow. Wow. So you got these sisters who are claiming that they're nurturers. I mean, that's what we hear, right? We're nurturing, we're loving, we're kind. And then somebody else gives you their baby and the child comes back brain dead. These super sister gremlins are on demon time.
To Kyrie's mom, Taylor Starks.
All I know is that she threw my son into the wall and shook him up pretty bad, but they said that's just a bit of what she did to him.
She got a text message from babysitter Kimora Hodges on June 13th saying that Kyrie had eaten a bar of soap and was having an allergic reaction.
Wow, and that's the best lie that she could come up with? Like I said, background checks need to be #1 in the community. Needs to be #1. Because we have too much of this going on. We really do. And you never know who you're leaving your children with. But it just makes no sense that you wouldn't do a background check on them. I don't know if she has prior charges, but oh man, this is atrocious.
So she rushed home from work to her apartment in Roseville.
And once I made it there, my baby was on the ground having seizure after seizure after seizure.
Taylor trusted the babysitter's allergy story, but doctors at Ascension St. John Hospital would soon deliver the worst news.
He had blood force trauma to the head and he was bleeding out his ears where he had to have immediate brain surgery.
A week later, Kyrie's condition has not improved.
Wow.
Tests continue showing no brain activity.
I'm only 18. I don't have a mom. I don't have a dad. I don't have any family. It's just me.
Where's the father? That's the issue. For one, where's her father? Where's her mother? You know, we don't know. We don't know her situation. We don't know her story. But, I mean, this is the product of people coming out of broken homes, you know? They're desperate to leave their kids with pretty much anybody, right? While they go get the bag, focus on their career. This is the problem with broken homes right here. Like, there's no way that, like, if I'm gonna marry a woman or even have a child with a woman, there's no way you just gonna dump my kid off at a daycare. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. With these sickos out here, no. Absolutely not. So, oh man, they gonna be with some family or whatever, but you got to be careful who you leaving your kids with. And I know a lot of times in the community, we get careless about that. That's the reality. That's why we have so many women, so many of our women coming up who got molestation stories, right? They don't want to talk about that. Even the men too. All right. they don't want to talk about that.
And my baby.
Hodges is charged with first-degree child abuse, held on a high bond of $250,000, no 10%.
Very cooperative, very
Thank God they didn't give her the chance to post that 10%.
regretful, remorseful for her actions, but it doesn't, I mean, obviously that doesn't take any of it back.
If Kyrie passes, Hodges will face more charges. But for now, Taylor is spending every minute by her baby's side.
I'm hurt. I'm so hurt that she did this to me.
Reporting in Roseville, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.